Beal talking lots of smack.
Brooks hits the deck, and he and Henson come together. Noah.
Welcome, welcome. You've all been far too kind with your praise and with your scrutiny.
A lot of scrutiny. Too much scrutiny. You guys are That's the first one we've ever dropped on the show.
Get him! Absolutely.
And you guys
get
won't
him.
even hear it because Seko will be embarrassed when he edits this. And when I say Seko, yes, I am talking about myself in third person.
Super meta.
Don't even care.
Don't even matter.
Don't even care.
But welcome.
Welcome back.
Because tell you what this week is, we're coming at you with a special. Seems like it's all special.
I'm excited. We're strapping in. We're strapping in and we're wrapping in. Week 2 of the playoffs. Round 2 coming at us.
Round 2 coming at us
week 2.
real quick. Oh, dude, is your head like the size of a lemon? Oh, get him.
You're good.
I've got a long head, dude.
You're good, mate. Mate, you're good.
I'll be
Mate, here we
suffocating
are.
through the rest of the podcast, but welcome.
Finn, Noggin, dude.
And speaking of, we want to make a shout out. The Vino lineup got back to us.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, you never actually did call back, but we decided we'd do you a favor and come calling back anyway. Vivino, everyone, download the app, drink some wine. I know I told you like a week ago, cut it out of your life, but probably best to bring it back because we cut it out for 2 weeks and we went missing for 2 weeks.
We did
if we're
go
gonna be
missing.
honest. It was not healthy.
It really wasn't healthy,
Mate.
but tell you what, we're kicking it old school
We're
this
back.
week.
We're kicking
We got
old
the,
school.
I can't even do the strap.
Yeah,
That lasted a solid 30 seconds.
Keeping the helmets on though.
We're still keeping the helmets on because it's helmet week here with Fish
Helmet week.
Seko. Welcome to Trash Talk. We're kicking it old school in homage to the great, not late enough, Tim Duncan, who was
Game.
absolutely sending it in the Clippers
Gosh.
series for San
Causing them
Antonio.
serious problems.
Absolute problems. He's
Absolute
making
problems.
much younger men
Yeah.
look very, very silly. He's
Yeah.
just schooling and ruling in the paint.
Very silly.
And this is our little homage to you. So,
Mate, kicking it old school for you, Timmy. Cheers, mate.
cheers.
I'm
Let's
cheers to
kick
that.
this thing off,
Let's
man.
get it going, mate.
We got ourselves a little bit of Mob Deep. It's no such thing as halfway crooks. Am I right?
No such thing. No
So,
such
yeah,
thing.
it's been a hell of a week.
What a week.
Been a hell of a week.
What a week of basketball. What a week of weather. What a week of world issues.
What are we?
We're not going to get into world issues because we're not very well educated on the world issues.
Nowhere near educated enough. You'll just be hearing absolute dribble
people
from
are
us.
putting up statuses about things that are going on, and here we are just...
Here we are
when are
going,
we
Brandon Roy
strapping-
ain't walking through that door.
No, we're not.
Brandon Roy ain't walking through that door.
Hashtag Patino game.
Hashtag Patino game. So we're going to kick it off. We're going to
Let's do
start
it,
off,
Fish.
man.
Let's get us in.
Speaking of Tim Duncan, the Spurs and the Clippers series, Game 5, held at the Staples Center, Los Angeles, and San Antonio brought it to them. It wasn't a bloodbath by any means, but it was just murder out of the court from both ends. Do you think that this has been the game of the round, let alone game of the season?
Game of the season. I don't know. I think I recall there was one game. I can't remember what it was. It was double overtime something. It was Spurs versus who'd they go to double overtime with? Memphis.
Yeah.
And it was one of
that
those
was early in the
TNT.
season.
Yeah, I reckon that was still for me game of the season because
Yeah.
there was a Gasol buzzer beater 3 and a Timmy Duncan fadeaway 3.
Yeah.
If that happens in the same game,
what
like
more do
seriously,
you
you better put better enter the lottery that way because you're in luck.
Because you are in luck. So It's still game of the round.
Game of the round, no doubt. I think even beats the double overtime games from Bucks and Bulls. I think.
I think so as well.
If you cut out most of that, the start of the third quarter where it was just Hacker DeAndre, it was definitely game of the round so far in my eyes.
It was absolutely
two
incredible.
teams just going
absolutely going at
to
it.
the wall.
Calls going everywhere. Chris Paul got a technical after grabbing a rebound, tackled a few people. Kawhi Leonard almost tackled him, and then Chris Paul flopped at the attention of it. It's absolutely insane. Like that game was nuts, and for it to end up with Blake Griffin still with 4.9 I think was left on the shot clock, going up for a hard layup, and DeAndre Jordan taps it in.
He had his helmet on.
He's definitely off the Chris Paul Christmas card list. I can assure you that
he's off. He's off.
He's gone for the tap in.
Well.
Offensive interference. They literally lost on a made bucket.
They really did. They really did. They screwed themselves. And it's the second game this series that they've shot themselves in the foot.
They have.
Because in game 2 in Staples Center, I don't know if you remember, but Blake Griffin pretty much dribbled the ball back to San Antonio when they're up 2 with like 20 seconds.
I don't remember breakfast, man. But I'll take your word for it.
That's what happened.
I'll take your word for it. Thank you.
That is what happened. I'm pretty sure.
I'm almost certain that happened.
I think so. But
no, it's really interesting seeing these two sides. One that is so seasoned and such a veteran squad, and they're able to really function in those clutch situations, and a younger side that have either really flourished and had incredible games, such as game 1. I don't think we'll ever see the Clippers that good again.
Yeah, they played amazing.
They played absolutely for sure phenomenal basketball, and the same in game 4, I think it was, where they tied it up.
Where they brought it back, yeah, for sure.
They absolutely, it was
they
absolutely
stepped it up
outstanding.
CP3 and BG really kind of stepped up to a new level.
Like
in
all
both those
praise
games.
to them, and then it just seems as soon as they're not in the driving seat and they've got to fight back, they just get frustrated, they get angry, they start complaining, they start flopping.
They do that every game.
They do that every game, but not as it doesn't have as much consequence as it does late in the fourth quarter when you're versing the Spurs.
It seemed like
in a tight series.
Every call in that game 5 was just. There were Clippers fans whinging, Doc was whinging, players were whinging about absolutely everything, just from like the whistle.
And then for Doc to have the audacity in the post-game interview to say, I never complain, but we had some pretty brutal calls called against us. We'll show the GIF. Show the GIF
right now.
That is the face of a man.
90% of his calls against his squad.
That's literally the face before he's thinking of something to complain about. That's his thinking face.
Or is that just him when he finds out that breakfast wasn't included at the hotel he's staying in? I'm not sure, because that's what my face looks like.
That's the face of someone looking at another student when the student reminds the teacher that they still had homework the night before. That's the face.
Yeah,
that's the face.
I was about to shout out to someone from my high school that did that, but they're going to remain nameless. But thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I've actually forgotten his name. It's been a while.
Yeah, it was an absolutely incredible series. There's not much more that we can really say on it. It was just one of those games that really the pressure is just all on the Clips.
Oh, it's kind of do or die for them, because it's year 4 of Blake Griffin and Chris Paul playing together.
Yep.
Two amazing players. People talk a lot about like KD and Westbrook being on the same team. It's not the same caliber in that you don't have an MVP on their team, but I would still say 2 of the top 10 players in the league on the same team.
Definitely.
The pressure's on to win now, because a lot of stuff could happen this summer with trades and stuff, especially if the Clippers can't get out of this.
Coming out.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan's going into free agency. So a lot of pressures on them. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on the Spurs to close out the series and kind of get shit done before Timmy retires. So I don't know. I'm bloody excited for this game tomorrow night.
So am I.
I'm so excited. And man, I don't know if the Clippers can pull it out of their arse to win again in San Antonio, we're in for a treat of a game 7. I think we're in for a treat tomorrow.
Yeah, this is still what I think. I feel like if the Clippers win tomorrow, I think that they'll win the series, which is a pretty big call.
That's a huge call.
But I have a stronger belief that the Spurs will close it out in 6.
Yeah. I don't, honestly, I'd love to say yes to... I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen.
Super entertained. And
I'm so pumped on this series. It's unfair that this is a round 1 series, really, but...
Definitely.
At the same time, kind of selfishly stoked that we're getting this kind of entertainment already.
Exactly, and I'm super happy that I'm off work with the claw.
Oh, mate, look at this.
Now back
Shout out to my man Fish. Look at him. Full movement.
This.
Let's go clam hands. Oh, no, he's just getting drink. But I'm going to go clam hands. Mate.
Yeah, it's still going to be a really entertaining series. We've got another really entertaining series in the Bucks and the Bulls, which we'll touch on later. Yeah. But all in all, the couple of series that we really wanted to develop into the later games really have with the Bucks and Bulls and the Spurs and the Clips.
Yeah,
both the 3s and 6s. So
that's what you want.
It's been
what
really
you want
good
from your 3s and your 6s.
It's exactly
some close games and
some close games. So we're really excited for tomorrow night and. Most certainly, that was an incredible game, and hats off to Timmy Duncan.
Timmy D.
Hats off to you, mate. But we're going to move it on to the East.
Let's do it. We're going East. East.
Especially after today's result with Atlanta coming up 3-2 against the Brooklyn Nets, who have somehow managed to turn up after not really turning up throughout the entire season. Looking forward onto the next round, if Atlanta do pull through the day after tomorrow, and they win it in 6 and they meet the Wizards, are the Wizards a contender, like a really serious contender to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh man,
against a Atlanta squad that's kind of been a little bit lackluster,
bit iffish at the moment. Yeah,
a little bit iffish.
They've taken care of home court, which is. You need to do that, but the fact that they were kind of letting Brooklyn into the game late today, they had a lead in Brooklyn in game 4 and they couldn't close that out. I was shocked that it came back to Atlanta 2-2. I really was.
We kind
of called for a sweep, nearly.
Yeah, it was very close to, and that was
run through the tape.
And that's literally it. It's just run through the tape. It was how good Atlanta were playing at the end of the season, and how badly the Nets were playing at the end of the season.
The Nets just kind of it was.
They somehow just popped up and were like, "Shit, we're in the playoffs."
It's like they accidentally did a forward roll and they ended up in Shelbyville. I don't know what happened. But mate, it didn't even feel like the Nets had any kind of passion about coming into the postseason. And then all of a sudden, you've seen some pretty big performances from Brook Lopez. De'Ron's been shocking all series, bar game 4 where he just turned up. But besides that, he's been atrocious.
Joe Johnson's been hit and miss.
Joe Johnson's been very hot and cold. Jared Jack has stepped up.
He's stepped up a lot, and so was Anderson off the bench.
Anderson played really good today.
Played really, really good today.
Really good today. It was kind of he was giving it his all that game. That's for sure. And they were kind of unlucky not to come away with a closer game, I thought. I don't think that the 10 points difference at the end really justified how close that game was, because they kind of blew it out just in the last kind of 2 minutes.
And hopefully that, we're not sure, but that might somewhat give them a bit more of a drive to go into the Barclays Centre and take care of business, which they got very close in game 4. They got really close. It literally just came down to a Millsap play that was just pretty poorly orchestrated. Jeff Teague just held onto the ball a little bit
Yeah,
long.
I don't know. They
which
like
allowed,
we discussed, they don't really have a closer,
Yeah,
and that's actually become a problem.
it
And
actually has become a problem, and so
That's a problem.
they're
in the
resulting
postseason.
on plays where Budenholzer is more a philosophical coach where he can ornament being able to pass the ball around, but they don't really have that confidence when the game's slowed down.
Mate, you can draw up the best play in the world, but if you don't have someone that's going to have the confidence and ability to knock down that shot that's drawn up for them, which they do have guys that can hit shots, but we saw this problem with Boston is, Brad Stevens can run plays for you all day, but Kelly Olynyk's like shooting 3 of 10 from 3-point line. You can probably get him an open 3 at the end of the game, but he's probably not going to hit it. Like,
And
that's
I
the
think
thing.
the whole of Boston at the moment.
Let's not talk about Boston. No, we'll talk about Peter. No, we're going
We could get so deep into
we're
Kelly
doing the world a
Olynyk.
favour. We're staying pretty clear of Boston tonight, and for a bloody good reason. But, no, I don't know. I think Atlanta's definitely going to advance. Whether they can close it out in 6, I feel comfortable even if they do lose the next game, them coming home.
Yeah, I am as well.
I don't think Brooklyn's got the manpower to kind of overdo them, but who knows?
And isn't Brook Lopez getting a paycheck?
Oh, God, he is.
He is getting a paycheck at the end of the season with his contract expiring.
Note to Danny Ainge, sorry, no Celtics talk after this, but note to Danny Ainge, don't be fooled. Please, Danny, don't be fooled. You know he'll do his right foot again after like 2 weeks next season, so don't be fooled, Danny. But, mate, back to what we're going to talk about, Washington being a contender. Well, we were both really impressed with how they just kind of manhandled Toronto. Like, Toronto, as pathetic as they were in that series, we didn't have much faith in Washington coming into that
No, not at all.
And, like, they just... Number one, they
Just killed it.
swept the series, but they blew games out as well. Like,
Absolutely
unbelievably.
blew them out.
And-
Especially that game 4 where they won it by 35 points or something silly.
Yeah.
And
When you-
it's just...
When another team's season's on the line, you don't expect a blowout win like that, really.
It's absolutely insane. I know.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen a series blow out like that, like, probably since Spurs and Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, shit.
It was really, really similar, which it was absolutely really hard to believe just because of how close these two were on the table and how they were at the end of the season. For one to kind of maintain that little bit of sloppiness and a little bit of lack of cohesion that the Raptors did, and then Washington to just do a complete 180, jump on the backs of John Wall, Bradley Beal stepped up, Paul Pierce stepped up.
Gortat.
Absolutely.
Took it to a new level.
Yeah, just, it was
Yeah.
like Buzz Aldridge in there, just walking on the moon. That's how big a step he took. Nene's been playing some good role minutes. Otto Porter jumped out of the
Porter's just
freaking roof.
Dude, give me whatever he's taking because
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
it. I want that.
I want to be that good
He's gone from
within
here
2
to
weeks.
like here, like in a week.
It's absolutely insane.
It's great, but seeing him
But
develop,
do you think that they'd be able to take it to Atlanta?
I 100% think that series is going to be a lot closer than people would have predicted 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Only because Atlanta's kind of been stumbling, like we said, and haven't been able to close out these games. Washington's got go-to guys at the end of games. They've got Paul Pierce now, which has been a huge
Massive
addition
factor.
for them.
Otto Porter's been closing out games a lot for
Otto
them as
Porter's
well.
playing great. You got guys like Beal, Wall, who can either hit shots or create shots for other guys. Both of them, they're kind of drive and kick games on point at the moment, getting it to Pierce or Porter. But yeah, shit. Like, I just, with the way Washington's playing and having those closers now, you'd have to think like that's going to be a pretty even series now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say like they're the favourites, but I have a lot more confidence in them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 7 games in this. Wouldn't surprise me if Washington won it in 6. Like, it really wouldn't. Only because of the way they're playing. And they've come good at the right time of the year, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on, Atlanta's defense,
Which has still been solid.
which has still been solid. And actually, it's literally just going to depend on Atlanta.
It's
Whether they can really move the ball around. I feel like the driving kick, Mike Budenholzer is a smart enough coach. I don't think they're going to have near as much daylight as they did during the Raptors series. Those spot up shooters that they have, I don't think that they'll be able to get past the perimeter defense of the Hawks either.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of tricky to see how things work out, but I'm going to call it Hawks in 6.
Hawks in 6, yeah. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens in the next 2 games for the Hawks, if not one. But one thing you have to remember is Toronto were freaking atrocious in that series on defense and offense.
I
They
don't
weren't
think it
running
was
any plays.
that they were terrible. Offensively, they were terrible.
I think
But
defensively
they were just exploited. I think it was literally one of those things where
But they didn't. They
where the
also
coach
weren't able
cracked
to
the
adjust.
code. No, they weren't able to adjust because that's what the coach had
And
instilled throughout the
Dwayne
entire.
Casey
Dwayne
wouldn't be
Casey.
surprised if he's probably gone in the next.
I
few
think
weeks.
Mike Budenholzer is a little bit more intelligent than that. So
I think so for
it's
sure.
gonna be a hell
You're
of a lot
playing
tougher
against
for
a
the
smarter
Wizards.
mastermind. That's for sure.
But if they keep it up to level, I think Washington have better chances of closing out games than Atlanta do.
Mate, they've got the weapon, Paul Pierce. And I know I've talked about this a
Paul
bit,
Homer.
but you've got to admit how big he came up in that series.
That's why they got me here.
That's why they got me here. Here's to you, Paul. But mate, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that next round. That's for sure.
Good to hear. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're talking about the Raptors at the moment with how atrocious they've been, and I actually feel bad because I don't want to pour out a 40 for them. I don't even want to pour out a 40 for them because they're
been that bad.
so far under. They've just been that bad
Look, I'll
of an
pour out.
organisation.
Is that what we're moving on to?
Yeah, we're moving on to pouring out 40s for the losing squads and.
Do we have like some water we can pour out instead of our precious wine?
No, we'll pour out a 40. No, tell you what, we're gonna put it on to you, the viewers, all 3 of you. If you feel any compassion for these losing teams, you'll pour out the drink that you're holding in your left or right hand, depending on whether you're playing Buffalo or not.
Mate, who we
pour it
pouring
on
out a
that floor.
40 for first?
We've already done it for the Raptors because they were that atrocious.
Vince Carter's not walking through that door. He ain't walking through that
He
door.
ain't walking through that door.
Chris Bosh ain't walking through that door. He ain't walking through that door, fans.
He's definitely
Wait,
not.
I've got one more. Sebastian Telfair ain't walking through that door.
Walking through that door.
What team haven't you been on, Seabass?
No one knows.
Oh, God.
The Celts.
Oh, God.
I'm
No,
sorry,
I've
mate.
actually got to pour out a 40 because I am. You don't have to, but I do.
Good.
Pouring out a 40 for my Celtics.
I'm sorry about it.
Swept in 4.
Swept in 4.
No,
They-
to the surprise of no one, really.
To the surprise of no one, but they gave it a chance.
Never blown out in a game,
Never
which I was
blown out.
pretty proud of.
They did
for
well.
a team that doesn't really have an NBA starter.
No, not at all. For a team that doesn't have an NBA starter to keep up with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and K-Love when he was there in crunch time.
Ooh.
Hats off to you.
K-Love too.
It's going to be a little bit interesting. K-Love too soon.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Because Larry Bird ain't walking through that door.
Paul Pierce ain't walking through the door. He ain't getting wheelchaired back out that door and then miraculously recovering and running back out on the court and hitting the game winner. He ain't
man.
walking through that door. KG's on a walking frame through that door at the moment.
And Rajon Rondo is just bumping referees out of the way out of the door. Pretty much out of
God,
the
don't
NBA,
sign
to
me
be
on
honest.
Rajon.
I'm not
Don't
even
sign
going
me
to
on
start it.
Rajon.
We're going to go to the Pelicans.
Peja Stojakovic ain't walking through that door.
For any of you who are wondering what we're talking about doors, we're talking about the Petoni game. Hashtag Petoni game.
Patino.
Patino.
Petoni.
Who's Petoni?
I don't know, but I like him.
Patino.
Rick Pitino, the famous speech for the Celtics when they were losing and blew up. Dunkin' Donuts banners in the background. So that's what we do when a team loses in the playoffs now. We
quote
play the
former
Patino
players.
game.
We
We play the Patino game.
We do. We call
been
out
quite
former
fun so
players
far.
and call out how
Been very
little
fun.
they are walking through door frames.
They ain't walking through that door.
Because they're definitely not walking through that door. So the Pelicans, although getting blown out by the Warriors, it looks promising for Anthony Davis. I'm glad he got those minutes in.
Yeah, for sure. I think that squad looks pretty set to make some.
Eric Gordon's a
some-
really good wing player.
Yeah, Eric Gordon brought it back.
He really showed
Yeah,
up. I
but
think
just-
they need to figure out something at the point spot.
I think they Drew Holiday too injury prone, and I think they need to get someone that's a bit more consistent with Davis.
Yeah.
I
I like Ryan Anderson coming off the bench. I don't like
Anderson.
Omar Ashik. In there.
Ashik's. You hear like people saying like a DeAndre Jordan contract year or as we're saying it now, a Brook Lopez contract year, like getting them checks. Ashik's just gone and done the complete opposite. Him and Rondo, it's like, hey, don't pay me next year.
Yeah, really don't. I'm
Terrible.
not worth it.
Terrible.
Because P.R. Stojakovic isn't walking through that.
I ain't walking through that door.
We're going to go to the Mavs.
Pouring out a 40 for the Mavs. Mate, J Kidd ain't walking through that door.
Steve Nash ain't walking through that door.
He ain't.
He definitely ain't.
Jason Terry is
The
not
Jet.
coming from the opposition
Jet.
locker room to walk through that door.
He definitely isn't. The Rockets completely blew them out. It was pretty much just the better squad and a squad that really was dysfunctional on offense and on defense.
Oh.
They had to go through a lot of motions.
They had their problems mid-series.
They had their problems mid-series because of a certain former Celt. And a lot of shooting percentages put a lot of weight on.
Also, Chandler
Dirk's
Parsons went
shoulders.
down, which is pretty big for
It
them.
was massive for
Good
them.
wing player.
He's an incredible wing player.
He can show up in playoffs as we've seen before.
It was pretty hard. It was a pretty hard
tough
hit
one for
them.
Dirk. Tough
But-
one to see Dirk go down like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the great German will be back.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Him and Timmy D have like this bet who's going to be oldest when they retire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right now they're stubborn as fuck. They're like, no, not happening. We're both going down together.
Both pulling each other down
Seriously.
by their walking frames.
Seriously, Dirk can hardly run from one end of the court. You see like Dirk's like on the top of the key and makes like or someone goes to pass it to him. He gets intercepted. Dirk doesn't even bother chasing down like the guy in transition now.
Nothing.
He's just like,
He's just
we'll
like-
concede the 2 points. I'm getting back on offense.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What's the next play, Rick? Like, come on.
He's there going, I don't want to borrow that. I need to conserve my health because my superannuation ain't getting any cheaper.
Not at all. Not
Just
at
got
all.
to think about that retirement plan. when
He's
you're
not
doing-
on. He's not
you're
on.
a thinker.
He's not on you super.
He's not. And there's no way I could segue that in. The Blazers. We're going to go to the recent Blazers who recently lost this morning.
Oh yeah.
Going down 4-1 to the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's a tough one for them because of probably if they had have had Wes Matthews, I feel like that series would have been
With
lot
a healthy
closer.
Wes Matthews, with last year's Nick Batum,
Yeah, Batum.
they
Batum
would have
fell
been
off a
really
cliff,
good.
man.
Absolutely fell off a cliff. It was absolutely absurd.
Just I think their two best players, Lillard and Aldridge, kind of both decided to take it in turns of who was going to have a terrible shooting night.
There was really no cohesion between the two.
It kind of... Someone said this earlier in the season. They said Wes Matthews is the second best player on the Blazers. And I kind of laughed. I was like, what are you talking about? Lillard's behind Aldridge. And they were like, no, what Wes does on both ends of the floor is just so big for them. And it was so easy to see in this series.
Especially.
They just got...
Lillard's their closer, but outside of that...
Lillard's a horrible defender, and I never really paid attention to it to this series. He's losing guys on screens, like back cuts always happening behind him. He's just, I don't know what he's doing, but he needs to work this off-season on some D because it's a huge hole in his game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just that physicality aspect, and he's a nice, clean player. Would always shoot up a J, maybe sink it, maybe not. If it goes in, it'll win the game.
Yep.
That's generally the player that Damian Lillard is, but yeah, they were definitely breathing after
Shout out
losing.
to his move in Game 4 that they won, but that spin move to reverse layup.
That was
That might have been the move of this round 1 so far. That was filthy.
Pretty close.
That was pretty filthy. That's the
so
Lillard
shot.
we love for sure.
That's
D-Lil.
what we absolutely love, because let's face it, Brandon Moy ain't walking through that door.
Clyde Drexler ain't walking through that door, ladies and gentlemen.
The other
That's
things
it.
that we've really got left, the Bucks and the Bulls, the Clips and the Spurs,
And
the
Atlanta,
Hawks
Brooklyn.
and the Nets, and that's really all that's really decided at this point.
Yeah.
We've got one for certain, where we know that I think it's Washington is going to be versing. Oh no, it's
Nothing.
The
Oh
other
no,
one.
it's Memphis versus Golden State.
Memphis Golden State is confirmed.
Yeah, looking forward to that as well.
Looking really forward.
Mike Conley can somehow get back, and he didn't look good with
He
his
really didn't look good with his bung up eyebrow.
bung up eyes, and I don't know, maybe a bit of crystal meth. I don't know, but didn't look well. But I hope he comes back for this series to make it more entertaining for sure.
Did you see the reporter? It went, and we've got Mike Conley here from the Memphis Grizzlies, who's been sitting out the past 2 games. How are you, Mike Conley?
And then he turns around and his eye appears. And it's like that moment out of Toy Story where you're like, there's that doll, but it's been mutilated. You're like, what the f***?
Yeah, just like, he was like a doll in a microwave,
Just
unfortunately.
Wish you hadn't have looked.
Wish him a safe recovery.
Hope so. He's
Hope
a
he
key
gets
part
back
of
there. Massive
their
part of their
plan.
offense
their plan.
and a massive part of their defense. So
Massive part of the Grizz.
massive part of the Grizz.
Yep. Hope he gets back.
So we've
Mind you,
already
Tony
touched.
Tony Allen has already put his hand up to take every single shot that you take usually. So don't rush back too soon because TA's got you covered, bro.
Man, helmet weeks and all.
Wait, sorry. Just a side note on Tony Allen.
Go.
I saw a tweet the Savo that said half an hour after their closer game against the Blazers finished, Tony Allen already had video of Golden State up on his iPad studying it. Oh my god.
Love it.
Oh, it's so good.
What a human.
Tony Allen is a playoffs.
He is.
I love it. He's such an animal.
I love him.
He
I
complains.
absolutely love him.
He complains every call. He waves at the crowd after a layup. It's amazing.
It's so good. He is
Love
the
him.
playoff atmosphere for the Grizzlies.
I very much enjoy it. He's one guy that if you actually watch him on defense, it's extremely entertaining because I don't think he's ever heard of going under a screen or getting trapped by a screen. He just goes through it. He's like, this, what?
Yeah,
He just slides through it. It's
straight
unbelievable.
through it. He's an incredible defender.
Great defender.
We've already touched on Atlanta Nets.
Now the East is exciting. I'm bloody pumped for it.
Really excited about it.
Yeah. So
Loving it. So that's
looking
pretty much
looking
it.
forward to the next couple of games.
Next couple
Close
of
out
games
this
for
round
basketball,
one.
and then we're on to round 2, and we're going to do it all over again.
Shout out to you, Swaggy P, sitting at home watching the games
mate.
from the couch with Iggy.
Say
Hope
hi
you guys-
to Iggy for us.
Hope your relationship is thriving.
Thriving.
Welcome. I don't know. Fuck.
Thriving's a hell of a word, dude.
What? I want them to get married. They're a power couple.
You spend way too much time on Twitter.
Pouring out a 40 for myself there. That was the gayest thing I've ever said. Iggy Azalea can't rap.
Yeah, we lost so much cred. Holy shit.
Oh,
You just dragged me down there like a fucking...
For the one
You were like a brick.
For the one person that is still watching at this point of the pod, Lewis, thank you.
Thanks, Lewis.
And if you hear
Who is
this,
Lewis?
you know Lewis. Mate, if
better be Lewis. It better be
if
the
you're
Lewis
still
I'm
watching
thinking
at this
of.
point of the pod right now, inbox me. You
No,
know what?
you
No,
better.
post it on our wall.
Shout to
Please.
Lewis.
Shout out to Lewis.
Shout
Thank you
to
for
Lewis.
watching.
On you, mate. So we're going to go
Strapping
off...
it back up.
We're going off of basketball.
Strapping it back up.
We're going to go off basketball.
And that's why I'm strapping it back up. Because
Good.
I don't feel safe in these regions.
Good.
I feel safe in my safety
I'm
net
going
of
to try and get my
basketball.
horse head around here.
Get it in there, son.
We're going to try something a little bit different. Where off the
Football.
top of one of our heads, we each ask one person a question. We'll hopefully have some animation in the future, but at the moment we don't have anyone that'll do it for free.
Yeah, no.
Let's face it, we like to spend our money on the arts. Yep,
Yep.
not wrong there.
Not wrong.
Seko.
Oh, no.
Question time with Fish and Seko. Do you think that tie-dye was originally made by Thai people and we've just been taking advantage of something that they created and made it into white hippie kind of shit?
Man, it's funny you asked that because I was wearing a tie-dye shirt 4 days ago.
Fuck off.
I was. Shout out to you, Rory, for making me that. But, mate, tie-dye, have the Taiwanese been lying to us?
Have they?
Have the Thais been lied to? Have they been disrespected?
It's the question that I'm asking. I want you to give me an answer.
Mate, so here's my feeling on tie-dye. I feel like it wasn't invented by the Thai. I feel like it was invented by a group of sailors that were really good at tying knots. Yeah, wow, that hit you. This is where it's going.
Go
They
on.
were tying knots one day, decided to add a little bit of food colouring to some knots, just as a joke.
Maybe some wine?
A couple
I
of...
could see some primitive kind of...
Mate, they're in the Navy. You wouldn't put it past them.
Wouldn't put it past
They're doing what they can on their off days, which is like 374 days a year. But no, seriously, why do we still have a Navy? Nah, sorry, love you, Jack.
Gilly Willy. Bless him.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they were just being a bit experimental with their tying of knots. All of a sudden, these colours started coming out. They were all wearing like their tidy-whitey t-shirts and all that stuff. You know how the navals go about it. And mate, all of a sudden, the lieutenant comes out. He's like, "What are you guys doing? You see dogs." And then he comes out and they've just got freaking rainbow t-shirts. And all of a sudden, mate, they're kicked out of the Navy. They're banned from Australia, if they were in fact Australian. Could have been American, but who knows. They're banished from the world, and now they're living on Mars. And that's where lava lamps got invented. And so they invented tie-dye t-shirts. Bear with us. They invented tie-dye t-shirts, lava lamps, all within a month. It was an amazing month for probably the world. I don't know. Have you ever broken a lava lamp? It's like acid.
No.
It stings. It really
I've
stings.
never had one. I've never had one.
Neither, but I've
broken
known people
one.
in movies that have had them. And I've heard it's quite painful if it touches you. Anyway, Fish, you probably need to top up your drink there, mate.
Yeah, I
Because
probably do.
I've sent you into oblivion.
Mate, you have. That was incredible. Not in all my wildest dreams was I hoping for lava lamps to be involved.
Mate,
Let's just see this
that just
fucker off.
happened. Let's do it. But mate, I think it's time for me to ask you a question.
What's my question, mate?
This is a bit different to your question.
Go.
Mate, if you could have one member of the TV epic, which is known as Friends, on set for a pod, who would you go and why?
All right, so
it's tough.
it's a tie.
Well,
It's a tie.
You can't have a tie because we already discussed
Can I-
tie
all right.
and we can't do that.
No, I'm going full sailor here. I'm going to go for the full lava lamp. A,
Don't know if I like this.
for the wit and for the amount of social gravity that this person would conjure.
Who?
I'd have to go Chandler.
Love me some Chandler.
I'd definitely bring Chandler in. I feel like he'd be a great asset to our team. I feel like his wry sense of humour would flourish in a situation such as this.
Quite witty.
I feel like he would have to appropriate himself to red wine.
I don't think he'd enjoy our swearing content though.
I really
feel like
don't
he's
give a
got-
shit.
Yeah, neither do I. But I feel like he's got a little bit of like kind of, I don't know,
He seems a
responsibility
little
about
bit.
him.
Yeah, he does. He does.
know?
But that's simply just his age. It depends on what kind of season you're talking about. Is it season 1
Yeah.
Chandler or season 10 Chandler? We live with the
He
times.
evolves. We
What the hell was
go
that?
through his world.
We go through his
We-
world.
we get a
and
good-
we want his world sitting right here in between us
Yeah,
as we're
Chandler.
talking.
Get
So
over.
I
Shout
think
out
it's
to you,
something
mate.
like. Who's the actor's name? Something
Oh, who
Perry?
cares,
Matthew
mate?
Perry.
No, screw
Get
him.
back to
I
us.
want Chandler. I don't want
back
Matt
to us.
Perry. I want
No,
Chandler.
but Matt Perry is Chandler,
I
dude.
don't
These
care. No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
they were
no.
just names,
yeah,
dude.
No.
Yep, no. I would
no.
definitely either have Chandler
I'm not
or...
going to call him Matt. Not,
or-
not
no,
once.
hear me
I'm
out on
never
this.
calling him Matt. Not even if there's a fire. Not calling him Matt.
Will you just listen to me?
Yeah. What's your You said it's a tie. Who's your second man?
My second would be if we keep the nudity content on this podcast like we did in the first series. I want Rachel.
Yes. Here's my next... Oh, sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed a follow-up question, but where's Joey in all of this?
Joey's shagging bitches.
How do
And
you
that-
reckon he's doing now that Tinder's a thing? He'd be on
Killing it.
fire.
Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine?
Joey turns up.
Can you imagine you've
She's there like,
swiped,
"Oh,
you've had like
Triviani."
three left swipes in a row. You're like this lonely woman, and then it's just Triviani in your face,
And all-
swiping right all day, right?
all day. But
day.
the best part is, for the few women that didn't swipe right immediately and actually click on his profile, on the bottom it says,
Trash
"Where's
talk,
my
Fish Seko.
Where's my lasagna?
And where's my lasagna?
Where's my lasagna?"
Underrated fact of the week. Where is our lasagna?
It's an underrated fact of the week.
MK, Sarah, all the women that are holding our lasagna at the moment.
So welcome to Question Time with Fish and Seko. We're
Yeah.
going to kind of try and keep that as...
That's the thing. It's
That's
going to
start being a thing
every week.
because we
That
don't
was a
give a
good
shit.
start.
We don't give a shit about your feelings. So we're going to go on and we're literally going to wrap it up.
We're
just
getting
as all the best news broadcast stations
Yeah,
do.
of course. It's 5 to 6
It's 5 to
on
6.
Channel 10.
And it's
where
weather
do
time.
they throw to? The weather, of course.
Weather
New
time with
segment.
Fish and Seko.
Another new segment. That's what we're doing, Helmet Week.
That's what we do on Helmet Week. We bring it in and tell you what it is. This week
Oh, mate, we got a cracker of a week.
we
The
have
weather.
a freaking cracker of a week. It's not too outrageous, but it's nice and steady.
Nice
and
and
it's
steady.
just looking absolutely beautiful.
Consistency for the week ahead, for the 5 days ahead.
For Friday, we've got 32 degrees Celsius, which is probably what, 14,000 Fahrenheit for all our American viewers.
We've got no American viewers, so let's just cut it
We're
with
just
the
gonna
Celsius.
cut it to the
Mate,
chase.
look, bottoms of 14 at night, so if you do have a goat or anything outside, just bring him in, maybe.
Yeah, try to
the pen.
just keep them in.
How's Saturday
to
looking,
the manger.
To the
as they
manger.
would say.
How's Saturday looking?
Saturday's looking beautiful as well. A little bit cooler, on up to 30 degrees Celsius, and then
Yeah,
as
wow.
soon as that cloud dissipates, we're looking at a little bit chillier night at 11 degrees
here's the
Celsius
question.
with a 3-knot northerly wind.
What cloud? Cloud 9. Because that's what everyone's is going to be on that day, because it's going to be
It's going to be
pumping weather.
It's going to be a pumping
it's
weather,
going to be a
and then
cracker.
For Saturday and for Monday.
we're Sunday.
Monday, we got 31 degrees and 32 degrees
What a cracker of a 2 days.
respectively. And then looking on further to the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's just looking
It's
great.
32 degrees, 33 degrees, and 35 degrees, all sunny.
There'll be 3 clouds come through in those 2 days.
And
so
it's gonna
look
be-
out for them because they'll be quick.
It's going to be an absolutely
just like we are.
We've got our BOM monitor here. It's going to be an absolutely cracking week of weather. So
I'm excited to be in Cairo.
for us
It's
in
been
Cairo,
a good week in Cairo,
It's
and
been a
we're
really great
looking
week.
forward to a next 5 days of great
next
weather.
week of great weather in Cairo.
Next forever of great weather. Pretty much.
I'm just really happy to be in Egypt.
Mate, Egypt's a great country. We've seen a lot. Since
We've seen a lot, and it's just a fantastic country full of sand,
Full of sand,
full of spice.
full of mummies. Haven't seen any yet, but I'm sure there's some milfs walking in the streets. So shout
Keep our eyes
shout
peeled.
out to the mums. But
Shout out to the moms of Cairo. It's getting hot. Cover up.
cover up.
Cover up.
What is it called? Slip, slop, slap, and wrap. Those helmets on.
And speaking of, that's a wrap.
We're gonna wrap this shit up.
We are gonna wrap this shit up.
Let's
'cause we're gonna send it off.
Let's give some final thank yous. Thank you to the haters still, and I know you're out there.
We know you're still there. We're waiting for you to actually make a Twitter comment.
Some shout outs to ourselves. If you haven't checked us out, we're on Facebook. Go like our page, facebook.com/ I don't even know. Trash Talk.
FS.
Yeah, that's the one. No, it's not. It's Trash Talk. No, it's all one word. Trash Talk with Fish and Seko. That's our Facebook. Twitter handle, Trash Talk _FS. Hit us up. Tweet at us. Follow us. We're always tweeting stupid
Because
crap.
let's face it, Jalen Rose and Jacoby aren't walking through that door.
They're not walking through. Bill Simmons ain't walking through that door. Haralabob Valgaris ain't walking through that door.
Because tell you what it is, Finn, Narvin, dude, thank you very much for watching Trash Talk with Fish and
Been
Seko.
another beauty from Fish's back room.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for watching.